Superman just did something no DC superhero has done in 8 years, and Warner Brothers is betting big that James Gunn knows exactly what he's doing. While Marvel stumbled this year, the Man of Steel is saving more than just Metropolis. Today we're breaking down why this movie is crushing it, what's coming next for the DCU, and how Jimmy Olsen will host his own true crime docu-series on HBO Max. Welcome, my name is Steve Eunice. Welcome to Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com. Joining me are my two good friends, Michael Bailey and Mark Lax. Hello, Michael.
How
Look,
you doing?
Michael's that way.
Like that way.
Yeah, I'm over here this week. So
How are you?
I'm doing fine. When you said Superman has done something no other DC hero has for 8 years, I'm like, what salacious thing has Superman done? But it was the $100 million thing. So I don't know why my brain is there, but it is. So
And how are you, Mark?
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Yeah, doing well tonight. All right, well, yeah, we've got plenty to talk about tonight, and we've got heaps of other topics beyond those that I've just mentioned. But we want to thank our sponsors and our patrons, our Superman champions, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, Tina Murray, Rick Schutzauer, Jamie Klingensmith, and Cara Lucker. Thank you so much for your financial support of this show. You keep it free for everyone else to watch. And if you'd like to join those folks and have your name or business read out at the beginning and end of every show, all you have to do is head to patreon.com/Superman homepage. There are different levels of membership with different levels of perks. But tonight we want to have just a lot of discussion about Superman stuff, but we want your interaction as well. And Michael is going to let you know how you get involved in tonight's show.
as usual, I'm on the other side today. This is weird.
Changing it up for you.
As usual, you just go to supermanhomepage.com/live, press the call now button, and that takes you into the green room where you can watch the show as you're waiting to get on. You can also scan your QR code and have like that separate and use your smartphone for that. If you are using your computer, laptop, desktop, doesn't matter, and you're on an external speaker watching this, please turn that volume down when you get on because we are on a bit of delay and that screws things up. And if you're on your smartphone, please use your headset or your AirPods or whatever, because the whatever that's called, speakerphone. Yes, that's. I was about to get it. The speakerphone was crackles. That's basically the problem. Is that every once in a while it just crackles and it's really weird and annoying.
Yes, so if you want to get on the show, that's the way you can do it in the second half hour of tonight's program. We'll try to fit those calls in. But if you're shy and you don't want to get on the phone tonight, then feel free to participate in the comments. We're on live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube tonight. So if you want to get involved, have your say. Michael, Mark, and I can see your comments and react to them as the show goes on, or answer any questions you might have as well. Straight off the bat, Robbie Wu, number one in the Instagram, saying, I don't know if I can agree this film is the most profitable ever. We never said it was the most profitable ever. We said in the last 8 years it has done better than any DC superhero film has done. We'll get into that. We're not saying it's the most profitable ever. So just hold your horses.
Yeah.
And we'll get into all that in a second. So, yeah, let's just kind of calm down, people. But let's get into tonight's topics and let's discuss all the movie stuff that we want to get into tonight. And first up, we want to talk about the success of this film because Warner Brothers came out with their third quarter earnings report, and as reported by like Variety and the Hollywood Reporter and all other industry reports, and it says that Superman helped propel the studio's revenue up 24% to $3.3 billion alongside other releases like Weapons and The Conjuring Last Rites, but that Superman itself was the driving force behind that third quarter earnings report, while their linear TV projects are not necessarily doing as great, but Superman was a saving force as far as rescuing the company's struggling business.
Which makes sense because I think it just did better than they thought it was going to. And what we've got to start talking about here is their accounting is always going to be funny, which is going to what Robbie was saying in the comments. To Steve's point that it's the most profitable DC film in 6 years, I think what's his name? The director of Titanic. Why can't I remember his name? I'm having a bad night for that.
James Cameron.
James Cameron in a submersible could not find the bar that past DC movies have set for this, and I'm being dead serious on that. I mean, if you look at especially the past 6 years, and it's a weird thing to compare to also because we're still dealing with the pandemic 6 years ago, or at least 5 years ago, and everything leading into that.
Mm-hmm.
So. But on the other hand, according to their numbers, it is made them the best profit of any film of the year. Now, does that mean that if we're talking dollars to dollars, that it was more profitable than past Superman films? Again, what Steve said, we're not saying that. Warner Brothers is saying that it's profitable. That's the thing, is that this isn't us just pulling these numbers out of our butts and looking at headlines and stuff on social media. It's what Warner Brothers is saying. And if Warner Brothers is coming out and saying this was a success, it does two things. One, they're probably pretty happy about that. And two, they are looking to be bought. So it makes them look better and look more profitable and more enticing as a purchase.
Yeah, it's all these numbers are get very confusing. It's when you think when you think back, you're saying 6 years or 8 years that they said.
It says 8 years. So the report that came out from Forbes.com said that Superman has emerged as 2025's most popular superhero film, which we know it did better than Fantastic Four: First Steps, and it did better than the Marvel. Yep, that one. And it says here, resetting interest in DC with box office results 40% higher than any previous DCEU film from the past 8 years. So that's the figures that have come out. I'm not, like Michael said, that's their numbers. They've said that its box office results were 40% higher than any previous DC film from the past 8 years. The movie outperformed all the 3 Marvel Studio film releases this year. And it looks like that it's projected to have generated between $100 and $150 million in profits for Warner Brothers Studios.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mark. Go
ahead,
first.
Mark. No. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike, because you're going to say it better anyway. Go ahead.
That's not necessarily true. I've been tripping over my words all night. In the 9 minutes we've been on the air.
Yeah.
I think the thing is that if they're saying it made 150 million, now are they saying that the film itself made 150 million, or that the film made 150 million?
Superman is projected to generate 100 to 150 million dollars in profits globally. Now that can come not just from box office, that comes from licensing, that comes from merchandise, that comes from so many other areas of income that a movie generates. People forget that a movie doesn't just make dollars for a company from box office takings alone.
So if it made $150 million profit on, that means that it made back all of the money from the marketing, all of the money from the production. That's incredible. I mean, because they dumped some money into this film. I mean, we were talking about it every week. The next weird, like the drone thing, and all the things around the world. That stuff that's not like they were just like wanting to put up T-shirts and stuff. So if it made all its money back and then made 150 million, then that's exactly what they want, which is probably why the second one is so fast tracked, because they want to keep this momentum going.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's I mean, when you think about it, we know this movie was, pun intended, super successful, and it's exciting to see how much money it made, and fast tracking, like you said, Man of Tomorrow. But if you're going back 8 years, also thinking of how much more money it made to the other, say, DC properties, what are we talking about? We're talking about Joss Whedon's Justice League, and right,
Yeah,
and
so
we're
obviously
talking
it
about
doesn't include Man of Steel because Man of Steel was 2013,
no,
so that
no,
sets it 12 years
or
out.
Yeah.
Batman v
That's
Superman.
or Batman v Superman. Yeah.
Right. So it'd be Justice League. It would be Wonder Woman 84, correct? It would be
Wonder
Aquaman
Woman. It would be
2.
Wonder Woman.
Well, no, no. Wonder Woman was before Justice League, wasn't it?
I think it was the same year, but
No.
before Justice League.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Wonder
Okay,
Woman was successful, but
I'll fact check myself.
okay.
Oh,
But
I'm
beyond
never
that, I
wrong.
mean, the main ones we're talking about, Justice League, Aquaman 2, and Wonder Woman 84 was involved in that. And then, of
And
course, we're
there's
talking about the Super Flash
Suicide
movie,
Squads.
Suicide Squad. So when you look at those, I'm not saying they weren't successful in their own way, but when you look at some of those movies, you can see how much successful this movie would be over some of those movies. And I'm not saying they're bad movies, but you saw the box office and you saw the critical reception to some of these movies. So it would make sense that not only would it make this much money because it's a really good movie, but it's obviously going to make more money than those movies. So, I mean, if combined, maybe a different story. I don't know, but when you're looking at each one separately, it's obvious it's going to make that much more money. If that makes sense, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So it's. Can we please? I mean, they're still going to. Doesn't matter how much we spruik this and how much we give
Yeah.
the evidence aside.
Yeah,
There are still
it's-
going to be people who say that it flopped, that it bombed, that it was not a success, that it lost money, and I've been arguing that point for the last couple of days since these stories came out on social media with people who just blatantly refuse to accept anything that doesn't match their opinion on what they think happened. Even when you provide the evidence, they say, "Oh, it's lies." I'm calling it bullshit BS, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, you're obviously you're not a reasonable person to be able to discuss anything with because you just simply refuse to believe the information that's being provided. Now, I can't sway you one way or the other. You don't have to like the film, but the stats are there, the numbers are there. It is what it is. Now, the other side of this story, which is really interesting. Sorry, Michael, did you have any
No,
feedback
I have
on
nothing.
the Wonder Woman thing?
Oh, it's 2017, so it was earlier in the
Yeah,
year.
so it's yeah.
So
Yeah.
it might be it doesn't.
It might be
matter.
on the cusp.
yeah, on the cusp. Yeah, it
I
doesn't
mean, Wonder
matter.
Woman
I'm just
did
bringing this up.
Wonder Woman did well, and we know Wonder Woman did well because it got a sequel, and
Mhm.
Aquaman,
Yep.
which I think was 2016. I think that popped like $1 billion. So
Wow.
to go to Steve's point, the fact that it was more profitable than all these other movies isn't indicative of the quality of those films. I think what
Right.
it is more indicative of is that people actually wanted to go see this movie and buy the merchandise and buy and rent it and watch it on HBO Max and all that more than the other ones, more than Black Adam, more than Blue Beetle, more than
I forgot.
more than Aquaman 2, more than The Flash, which was abysmal. I'm going to keep banging that drum because it was just an awful film. I mean, seriously. I mean, it's just like they should show that film to people who really have no will to live because it'll just drive them that much closer to wanting to end it. No,
Yes.
it's just the thing is that it seems like the more data coming out that the film was successful, people are like doubling down on like, well, it was obviously like it's a fact, like it's accepted fact. Like you can't Google something for 5 seconds and find out that a certain former writer, well, he's still a writer that I used to really really like, that now I find kind of like objectively bad as a human being. Like he says, well, this is obviously, it's terrible. Yeah, it's so terrible they greenlit a sequel. I honestly think that one of the reasons why they greenlit the sequel so fast is not only because it did well, but I think James Gunn, and I have no evidence of this, I think he's looking at the fact that all of these Superman films don't get a sequel right away, and it loses momentum for the character. So Superman Returns doesn't get a sequel. People stop caring about Superman again. And Man of Steel got a sequel, but it was Batman and Wonder Woman and then Justice League. So I, as much as I'm tired and want to nap before really getting into the grind of the new film, why can't we just be happy?
Yeah, exactly.
There's the other question. Why can't?
No, we are happy.
Well, yeah,
we are happy. There are
else.
just people out there who decide that they don't want to be.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Superman being profitable does not really have any impact on my life in any meaningful way.
No.
However, I'm kind of happy that this group that put a lot of energy into making this film and the marketing people and the fact that they had such an uphill climb to get to this point, that it was successful, that I'm hoping that momentum carries to the next DC films, and I'm hoping that momentum carries to the sequel.
Yeah, 100%. And that just means more for us to be able to enjoy. So get on board, people, or hop off the train. All right. But the other side of the story that I was just kind of saying before was that the direction that the DCU is heading is not necessarily in a traditional Justice League movie that, you know, many people think it will go to, but rather maybe more along the lines of a Super Friends concept. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to use Super Friends as the wording, but maybe culminating in a Super Friends versus Legion of Doom showdown type of concept.
I would love that, mainly because we didn't get that the last time around. We got a hint of it, you know, at the end of both versions of Justice League. Lex Luthor was hinting at something. Though I think one of the things that I was glad about for this film, I know this is a bit of a tangent, but it is related to what we're talking about. One of the things that I was glad is that none of the post-credit sequences promised anything that was coming up outside of Supergirl, which we know was coming next year. So it's not like they were teasing that and it's coming down the pike. But both in Marvel and DC, there have been so many times where they've promised something and just not delivered on it in any kind of meaningful way, that if this is the end goal, if it isn't the Justice League versus Darkseid or the Justice League versus a cosmic threat, and it's the Justice League versus a bunch of villains, I think that would make for a more exciting film.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you wave, for me, growing up with the Super Friends my whole life, you wave the Super Friends in front of me, I'm going to be like, hey, that's cool. I mean, it's not going to be Super Friend, but you know what I mean. You know, getting
the concept.
You know, a great team of Justice League, yeah, and against the great villains and fighting, yeah, that's fun, and I think that's something we haven't really seen in any kind of DC movie. We haven't seen that. We have, you know, like you said, yes, the Justice League movies, both versions did hint at that. Of course, that never came to be. But that would be a lot of fun if it led up to that. But who knows? We don't know. I mean, it's all speculation at the moment.
Yeah. And as for the speculation as regards to the corporate merger or buyout or whatever is happening there, it's still all up in the air. These figures will help in one way or another, and maybe the people who are, or the companies that are looking in investing or buying or whatever the case might be, were waiting for these numbers to come out before they could then, you know, go to the table again with whatever offers are out there. But still nothing decided. People are all just speculating, and as we said last week, it's well above our pay grade to be able to comment on what that might mean moving forward. But obviously, if whoever does invest or buy or what have you is looking at the property as an investment and the direction it's going as something positive, and therefore whatever is currently in place should remain in place and move forward, because these people are looking to jump on board those great profits that have been generated.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, again, whether you like this movie or not, Warner Brothers thinks it's fantastic because not only are they pushing for it for the Academy Awards, which we mentioned last week and the week before, but they also have listed it for some Golden Globe considerations in drama categories, which is not your typical genre for slots for superhero films. But Variety reports that it is being pushed for the Golden Globes with, David Corenswet up for Best Actor, Rachel Brosnahan, Best Supporting Actress, Nicholas Hoult for Best Supporting Actor. Gunn himself is in the running for both directing and screenplay, while the film's score is up for original song for the Mighty Crabjoys theme.
I'm kind of hoping that wins something.
Yeah, me too.
Just it's not like it's not like I jam out to it every day. It's an enjoyable song. It really is.
Catchy.
But I want something from this to win one of the major awards, just so that they can then slap that on the next Blu-ray 4K release that they're going to do. What's next? 16K? I think that's what we're headed for.
Beam to your brain.
It's going to be. I think they tried that in Batman Forever, and Batman said it was a bad idea. So I don't think we're going to do that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Very good. Go, Mark.
Well, no, I was going to say, we nitpicked about the Academy Awards and are this kind of movie going to win an Academy Award? Golden Globes, I can see a few of those winning a Golden Globe more than I can see Oscar. I mean, I don't know, because Golden Globes are different. They're just different.
They don't have the same stature.
Yeah. They don't know those. At one time, it used to be a portent, like, oh, if it won the Golden Globe, it's going to at least get nominated for an Academy Award. But I don't think that's it.
Yeah, they do have different standards, seems, these days. Question in the from YouTube, from the Quest Gaming Network, asking me, have I noticed an increase in our metrics since the movie came out, which is a decent indicator of cultural impact. I can tell you, the Quest Gaming Network, thank you for your question, during April, May, June, July, bonkers. It was going nuts. So the metrics were well up there. Since the movie has left the cinema or the theater, and now we're in October, November, it's gradually gone down, which is obviously normal. Just like the movie is no longer in the top 10 on HBO Max and was there for quite a few weeks. The interest after people have seen it goes down, but Superman fans in general, like, we're getting more and more regulars coming to our weekly show. I'm going to give you a metric coming up about something that happened on Instagram soon that blew my mind. It definitely went up, especially around April, June, July. So that was a great indicator of the movie being popular out there amongst the general public. Now, still on the movie, there is a new issue of Before and Afters magazine, issue number 41, which this is the cover for it. It's going behind the curtain, if you like, pulling back the curtain on the visual effects for James Gunn's Superman film, written by visual effects journalist Ian Fales. It's an 80-page deep dive featuring exclusive insights from the visual effects supervisor, Stefan Ceretti, and the team at the Industrial Light and Magic, Weta FX, and Framestore, and goes into all the behind the scenes on how they made certain things for the film and the special effects. So that is available as a paperback for $16 on Amazon, or it's $10 for a digital edition, or free with a $9 a month digital subscription. So if you're interested, the link is up on our website. Simply look for the article at supermanhomepage.com.
Making Metropolis and destroying parts of it. That's a good name for an article. I like that. That shows some personality on the part of the editor.
Yeah, so I always like looking behind the curtain on these things and seeing how things were done. And talking about the movie and certain moments from the film, put up an article about the top 10 most controversial moments from the making of James Gunn's film. It is an article that ties in with the book, Beyond the Cape, which you'll hear about in a second. Some of these obviously were, the dropping of Henry Cavill, his controversial exit, James Gunn's response to some fan outcry, embracing the optimistic tone, bringing back the red trunks. So all these kinds of things. Lara and Jarrell's take on what they want to do with what they intended. So all these controversial moments are listed in no particular order on our website as an article, and they're all part of the book, the Beyond the Cape, which is right there, available on Amazon, written by yours truly. So there you have it. All right. So the other big story that came out today, still in tune with DC Universe, Jimmy Olsen. He's going to host his own DC true crime series on HBO Max, obviously played by Skylar Gisondo. Thoughts?
I mean, that's an interesting... I love that picture. He looks so happy that it just got announced that he's going to be hosting a true crime series. I think that's an interesting way to approach this. I know that as soon as the movie hit and became successful, that there were a bunch of people like, I want a Jimmy Olsen series, I want a Mr. Terrific series. And I'm like, guys, we got to slow our roll on this. If you look at Marvel, when they put too much content out there, it kind of dilutes everything. However, this is an interesting, like a twist on it. Like he's going to do a true crime. And my only question is Eve Tessmacher going to be his co-host? Because I think that would be hysterical.
Yeah, well, it says it's a true crime docuseries that will be obviously hosted by Jimmy Olsen, so he's in character. The series marks as an innovative blend of the superhero genre with mockumentary-style storytelling. The first season will focus on Gorilla Grodd, the psychic super-intelligent gorilla villain, best known from the Flash comics. It's the people behind American Vandal will be writing it. No release date as yet, no premiere date has been announced, but it's an interesting concept, and I think it could be quite funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a true crime in the DC universe. And talk about the Super Friends. It's Gorilla Grodd. We're getting Gorilla Grodd already, huh? I wonder what that means. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think that would be fun. And I do think it would be great. I think at some point you're going to see Eve Tessmacher. I think somehow,
for sure,
somehow
you have to. She could be Dr. Thorne in his side
her
while he's trying to report on things, and she just keeps showing up, and he just kind of keeps trying to turn her away. I think that would be hilarious. But yeah,
that'd be fun. It sounds like a fun show.
Yeah, Mind the Gap reminds us that Grodd was foreshadowed in Creature Commandos. So again, all the connecting dots. Looking forward to seeing what they come up with here. So looking forward to this idea, and cannot wait to see when they'll announce it, how far away it will be. But obviously it's just come to light. So who knows if they've even got anything in production. They just got the announcement that it will be a series coming out on HBO Max at some point, but we'll wait and see. All right, before we break for our halftime point of the show, Zack Snyder shared another Henry Cavill Polaroid photo from his collection. Now that he's joined Instagram, he's sharing some new stuff that he maybe hasn't shared before. This was the image that he shared, and he says, 4x5 Polaroid, rare color. I love this photo. It is pure Superman. And then there were obviously lots of comments saying, why does he look evil, and all those things. I mean, people just can't. People got to jump on one side of the bandwagon or the other. They're just on one side of the fence or the other. I don't understand why people just can't say, oh, that's a great photo, thank you for sharing it, and move on. But people want to be like, they want to take sides, and it's a great image. Henry Cavill's always looked like Superman to me, whatever you think of the pose or the facial feature or what have you. But that's Zack Snyder stirring the pot again.
Yeah, well, he keeps trying to make fetch happen, so I appreciate that to a certain extent.
I mean, he's trolling. I'm sorry. I do think there's a little bit of trolling in there. I mean, I understand he's just joined and he wants to, but why Superman? Why are these like some of the first pictures he's putting out at this time? Well, who knows?
Who knows?
You
Who
know,
knows?
it ain't gonna happen. But hey,
Yeah,
you
well,
could try that. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. Let's take a quick break. We're at the halfway point of tonight's show. We'll be back on the flip side with the fan favorite question of the week. We'll also got This Week in History and a huge viral moment that happened on our Instagram account. All that and more right after these messages.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying Superman Homepage Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program. Just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by going to patreon.com/Superman Homepage.
From chaos to hope. From uncertainty to a new vision. The complete chronicle of DC Studios' ambitious reboot. Every announcement, every casting choice, every milestone. Follow the entire journey of James Gunn's Superman. From the first announcement to the box office triumph. The definitive timeline of how a legend was reborn. From Steve Eunice, the owner of SupermanHomepage.com, comes the definitive chronicle of 2025's most anticipated superhero film, Beyond the Cape, now available on Amazon. The story behind the legend.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer. I'm the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
SupermanHomepage.com? All right.
Hey, this is Christopher Gorham. You're on the Superman Homepage.
Hey, this is Sam Witwer, and you're watching Superman Homepage.
Hi, this is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman from Justice League Action. You're listening to SupermanHomepage.com.
This is James Komachek, the voice of Superman.
This is Jeff Loeb, and you're listening to SupermanHomepage.com.
This is John Hames Newton, and you're listening to SupermanHomepage.com.
This is Jack O'Halloran on SupermanHomepage.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Daly, the voice of Superman, here on Superman Homepage.
I'm freezing! Superman!
Uh-oh, sounds like Lisa and Scott are trapped in the icy cave of that frosty-faced villain, Captain Cold. This is a job for Superman.
My fast freeze zapper will freeze Superman forever.
No way, Captain. Here, kids, my new Superman Hot Cocoa Mix is the super-tasting way to warm up.
It's really sweet. And chocolatey.
And see, Captain Cold can't take this warm reception. New Superman Hot Cocoa, the super-tasting way to warm up.
I'm guessing, Michael, you could do with a cup of hot cocoa about now.
Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. I wouldn't want that because I have a feeling that probably tasted like chalk.
It's probably out of date.
I don't know if you guys have... Well, no, I'm just like, even when it was fresh, I don't know if you guys have ever had like instant hot cocoa that was just terrible.
Well, the Quest Gaming Network says that Superman hot chocolate was fantastic. So maybe it was better than we might think.
I like that they begin it with bruh. I don't know why that made me laugh. I did. No, I don't know. I just there are so many things because of my wife that I'm completely spoiled on when it comes to food now that like I can't do like Cool Whip anymore because it tastes like plastic. The way she does hot cocoa, I can't. It's just
Yeah, I
you
know
know,
what you mean.
it's a good problem to have, but I'm just saying.
No, for sure. All right. Just quickly wanted to thank Kara Lucker, who is in the obviously one of our supporters and is in watching the show live tonight. Produced a great article for us called Stronger Than Steel, A Brief History of Superman. And it's not very brief at all, actually. It's a great article. It's a good lengthy article on the history of Superman from his debut in Action Comics #1 in 1938 right through to, current day Superman film. So thank you, Kara, for that article, which is up there on our website right now. So make sure you check that out. All right, well, let's jump into the regular segments. Let's start with the fan favorite segment of our show. All right, what was our fan favorite question from last week, Michael?
What is your favorite Superman fridge magnet? And Jamie S. Klingensmith wrote, my favorite Superman magnet is, of course, Crypto. I just love Crypto and try to collect whatever I see of him.
Thank you very much. Jamie.
And Rick Lee James wrote, is my favorite fridge magnet.
It is the Superman peanut butter one, which I'll get a close-up there. There it is.
Man, that's great.
That is a great... thank you very much,
that's my favorite.
Rick. Yeah, that is really cool. All right, next up was Ryan Ignatius Pratt, who said, I have many Superman magnets on my refrigerator, all of which I love, so it's very tough to pick a favorite. If I must select one, though, it would probably be one of these two magnets. The first being Jim Lee's, where is it here? Jim Lee's famous cover of Superman number 204, which I also have as a poster. And the second, I believe, being by the great Alex Ross, which, yes, is indeed... by Alex Ross. I think it was for Superman for All Time or something. No, what was that? I can't remember what cover it was from.
It was the Icons book.
Yeah, no,
they put out.
Maybe.
I mean, I know they used it for that. I don't know what they used it for in the comics.
But thank you, Ryan, for those.
Celeste Sims wrote, my favorite Superman pins are the Man of Steel and James Gunn Superman. They are simple but beautiful in their own way.
Thank you, Celeste. I'm guessing they're either pins. She says pins, but could be a magnet. Maybe they work both. But thank you, Celeste, for sending those in. And thank you to everyone, Celeste, Ryan, Rick, Jamie, for your responses to the fan favorite question. Our new fan favorite question for this week is, what is your favorite Superman Funko Pop vinyl figure? There have been a few of them over the years, and it doesn't have to be Superman himself, but Superman related. It could be Lois, it could be Crypto, whatever you want. But before we get away from this last question, guys, do either of you have a favorite Superman magnet?
Not really. I mean, I got a couple. Magnets to me... Like, magnets used to mean something on a fridge because you would, hang stuff on it, but, you don't need that anymore. We've got so many other ways of disseminating information, but magnets are not something that I ever really got into as a collectible.
Mark, yourself?
Yeah, I don't have, to look at my refrigerator right now, I don't have any. I mean, right now I don't have a lot of magnets. We used to have tons of magnets. I do have some on my refrigerator, but my mom used to have a ton of them. So I have a few magnets, but not Superman magnets. So
okay, let me see if I can use my phone camera, and zoom in. Yes, there it is. Can I? So I've got that. See that? What do you call it? A filing cabinet. They're all magnets stuck to that. So there's a fairly large collection of magnets on that.
Yes.
But, so that's... Now can I get back to you guys? Disconnect. Here we go. Let me add you all both in. No, let's go Michael first, me, and then Mark. There we go.
Hey,
all right. So we're back. So get involved in the new fan favorite segment, which is all about pop vinyl Superman figures. The email address to send those to is info@supermanhomepage.com. That's info@supermanhomepage.com. Send in your emails with a photo of your favorite pop vinyl Superman figure. All right, let's move on to This Week in History with Michael Bailey.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bonds of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
It's a mixed bag this week, folks, but we're going to start in 1965 with Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 62.
Senator Lois Lane.
Yeah, I mean, that works. I mean, that means she has to be at least 30, I think, to be a senator. Anyways, it's a 3-part complete novel, so I'm sure nothing bonkers happens in this story. Jumping ahead to 1975, we have Superman number 296. This is the start of the 4-part story that is usually called "Who Took the Super Out of Superman." This is an amazing story from leading up to Superman it doesn't lead up to Superman 300. It stops at Superman 299. But basically, an alien has it that if Superman is not wearing any part of his costume, he doesn't have his powers. So he spends the next issue living as Clark Kent. He spends an issue after that living as Superman. And it's a fantastic exploration of why he needs both characters, both sides of that personality, and I'm not even going to say Brian Michael Bendis in that. 1985, we have Superpowers number 6, which is the wrap-up to this, which was the tie-in to the second series of Superpowers action figures. And also, Superman number 416. Now, the main story in this, The Ghost of Superman Future, is okay. It is the backup of this story. That is called the Einstein Connection. That is the amazing part of this issue. It's Lex Luthor breaking out of jail every year on the same day, and it turns out it's Einstein's birthday because, according to Elliot S. Maggin, Lex Luthor loves Einstein, and it's just a fun little story.
Cool.
1995, we have Action Comics number 717. This is the trial of Superman. Is he wanted for the murder of all the people on Krypton, or did he go out drinking and was just like, it looks like he's just had a really bad couple of nights.
Yeah.
That's a good cover, though. I like that they use that for the promo stuff, too. 2005, we have Action Comics number 833, which is kind of a fantasy-type story. And we also had Infinite Crisis number 2, which has a big old bunch of scenes with the Earth 2 Superman in it. Not my favorite cover of that. I don't really like the way Jim Lee draws Power Girl. 2015, we have... This is a mouthful. DC Comics presents Superman, Lois and Clark, 100-page, super spectacular #1 that reprinted the Wedding album. This was a reprint, and the only reason I'm mentioning it is because there's another book that came out that I'm about to mention, and I wanted something positive about 2015.
I was going to say.
Because the other thing is Superman American Alien #1, which is written by Max Landis. Now, I gave this issue a glowing review back in 2015. And from that stratospheric height, it fell off quickly. I hate this series. I do not own this series anymore. I sold it a little while ago. I don't have the hardcover on my shelf. I'm not going to have this filth in my house. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's written by Max Landis. But I really don't like this as an origins, like a lead up to him becoming Superman. And last issue features Lobo, who I'm not a fan of. Now, I have come to understand that people much younger than us love this series. I'm not trying to take that away from them. I just hate it. And we've got like 6 more months of having to talk about this too, which I'm not even really happy about. Anyways, in the real world, where things actually matter, November 11th is the birthday of Callista Flockhart, who is Cat Grant on the Supergirl series. She was born in 1964. November 12th is the birthday of the late, really good friend of Steve Eunice, Bob Holliday. He was born in 1932. He was, of course, the Broadway Superman. Is that a colorized version of that photo?
I know. I think it's an actual color photo, I believe.
That's a really the colors really pop in it, is what I'm saying. And with a lot of the Broadway stuff, I know that they have colored some of the
especially some of the ones I've seen this last week have been really great.
Yeah, they've been. It's just like I'm looking at it, it's like, wow, I want to see. Can someone please find video of that? And speaking of Elliot S. Maggin, November 14th, Elliot S. Maggin, epic and legendary Superman writer, was born in 1950, and that is this week in history. And to all of you that loved American Alien, look in yourself. Really do some soul searching on that one.
Very good. John Patrick Van Pelt in the comments reminds us that also this past week, not necessarily directly Superman related, but we put it on our social media accounts. Sesame Street debuted back in, what was it?
1969.
1969, yes. And Superman has appeared multiple times on Sesame Street, both as a cartoon character, where he was presenting the letter S, as they would want to do, and also Christopher Reeve, Henry Cavill. They've appeared as and done Superman things with the Sesame Street crew. So Sesame Street and Superman are well linked. So thank you.
I grew up on Sesame Street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
same.
I have found though that that my generation divide of Sesame Street was when Snuffleupagus, when I was a kid, everyone thought that Big Bird was just making him up. And then I tuned in like 1986, and everybody was talking to Snuffleupagus, and it was like, what was going on? I have since found that the reason for that is kind of dark. And I mean, sweet in a way, but kind of dark, is that they didn't want to teach they didn't want to present something of kids feeling like they couldn't say something because they wouldn't be believed. Which is kind of fascinating. But yeah, Superman did all kinds of things in the late 60s and early 70s. If they ever do like a behind the music parody of that, where they're talking about it, is I want to see him like, I had gambling debts. It's why I was on Sesame Street. It's why I was on the Brady Bunch kids show, animated show. Wonder Woman was on that too. No one gives her a hard time about it. So
you should write that, Michael. I think that would be awesome. Very cool. Well,
Quest Gaming Network, Sesame Street jumped the shark for Michael when Snuffy was discovered. I don't know if it jumped the shark for me. I was just surprised that it happened.
Very good. The Quest Gaming Network actually earlier on asked about metrics and things. I was surprised this week, okay? Like, as you know, I post daily things, mostly daily, on our social media accounts about, today is National Basketball Day, and we show photos of Superman being involved in basketball. Or today is, the National Moustache Day, and so we talk about, and these are real dates that are in the calendar out there. Now, this past week was National or International Brush Day, and don't ask. And I put up this image of a Superman brush that has been, was created quite a few years ago, obviously, and 17 million views.
Wow. Wow.
People went nuts about how nostalgic I had this brush, but it's like I don't know, I don't understand why, and I don't understand algorithms, but on Instagram, this was viewed over 17 million times.
It's the things you never plan for.
Oh, 100%.
Like, years ago, I back when I was on Twitter, which I'm not anymore, thank God, I just did an offhanded joke about somebody having a problem with Tom Taylor having Superman hug his son. And like for 5 days, my phone was just going crazy, and it just doesn't die. Like, it showed up on TikTok, like last month. So you can never, like, the ones you plan for, Steve, I know you know this better than anybody. The stuff you plan for, the stuff you want to pop, never pops. And then it's something like this that just goes crazy, and you're just like, what is wrong with people?
I just don't get it. I mean, I understand the nostalgia aspect of things, but a hairbrush, and we are mostly visited by male audience.
Yeah.
98% male audience, but this had a large female audience that was looking at this, and obviously a hairbrush is, you have need for a hairbrush at the back of your head, Michael, but obviously Mark and I are,
it's not in its thing today, so I got it kind of loose and instead
Oh, there
maybe
you
it's natural, maybe it's Maybelline. I have no idea. On that subject, Steve, I really am heartened by the fact that this new Superman film has, and it's not like Superman films don't bring in a female audience.
No.
Because they all tend to, for various reasons, some more superficial than others. Specifically for us and the people that participate in the chat and everything, it's like, since the movie, it's like we've got so much more female representation in our comments and watching us live. So I'm really, it makes me feel good, because it's just like, it's not like I don't want it to be a bunch of dudes, but at the same time, it's kind of nice that the character is getting more of a appeal again.
100%
across the genders
and across the age groups too. And that's what I love about James Gunn's Superman film, is that it is for kids and adults alike. And I had somebody come up to me the other day and complain that the new Superman film was too fun, and I went,
too fun.
And
what?
Yeah, exactly.
This chocolate ice cream is too chocolate.
So the fact
this
that
Hershey
kids
bar is too
love
much
it,
chocolate in it. Geez.
So that bamboozled me too. But my jaw hit the ground. But I love that we're getting such a diverse audience, from males, females, young and old.
I think that is unfortunately one of the sad legacies of the Snyder version of Superman, is that it brought in a bunch of people that only want to see Superman in kind of a dark light, that want to see him as kind of this angsty character. And to be fair, the Corn Sweat Superman is angsty. Superman Returns Superman was definitely angsty. But it's just like, why is this fun? Why like are you incapable of feeling that emotion? Does it hurt? Did something happen to you? I mean, it's just like, these are the questions that I have.
Yeah, exactly. So 17 million views on Instagram. Love it that it brought that in, and it kind of justifies my daily obsession with finding images that have something to do with whatever celebration is on that day. So I love the fact that so many people found that so entertaining, but go figure. Like someone said, we don't understand the algorithm, we just pray to it.
It's such a weird thing. It literally is something. It's something that you can manipulate, but you have to really work at it.
Oh yeah, it's a science, or it's like magic. You once you know how, you can probably, manipulate it. But it's like it's handed down from like generation to generation, and it's a mystical thing that I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. All right.
The dawn of time.
Yes, exactly. Just quickly, in the real world, we said goodbye to a iconic Superman roller coaster, and in fact, a whole theme park. Six Flags America closed its gates for the last time last Sunday after 51 years. And the roller coaster, Superman Ride of Steel, sadly died on its way out, and people could not ride it on the final day because it just wasn't operational, which I guess is kind of scary when you're there on the last day and you go, well, if that's breaking down, what else is going to kind of go off? But anyway.
I saw that, and I was, outside of the fact that a bunch of people are losing their jobs, which is always kind of sad. And I know that in certain areas, theme parks are seasonal. But it's just, I remember, how long has that coaster been around, Steve?
Good question. I had it somewhere. It's in our. We've got a. I'll have to look that up for you, Mike. Keep talking, and I'll find it.
Because I have this vague memory of reading on the Superman homepage that they were announcing it. So now we are at this point with the site being so long-lived. I want to call it old. So long-lived that we are now seeing the end of stuff that was announced like 20, 25 years ago.
Yeah. Well, so it's what's it called? America. 2025. Let me look for that. It was opened in the summer of 2016.
Why do I have maybe it was another ride from the early 2000s that I remember seeing, because I'm thinking of the old version of the site from the early 2000s, which you can still access like on the Wayback Machine.
Right. Well, there was another one that shut down. Let me see. I'm looking through our page on Superman roller coasters. There was one that shut down. Where was it? I'll find it. But March 2011 was the Six Flags Magic Mountain in LA. That shut down in March 2025, that roller coaster, Superman Escape from Krypton. I don't know.
I'm still saying somebody needs to invest in one of those like 4D rides, like Star Tours or the Minions ride at Universal, of Escape from Krypton. Where it's like a total experience where you're in the ship and you're seeing what Superman's seeing as Kryptons, and you're being, and you crash on Earth, and I don't know. Yeah. Maybe that would be too depressing because you're living through the death of a planet, but still.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, but then you see going to Earth, and maybe you see the Kents, and then it kind of you're home.
Fades out.
That kind of.
Yeah. Mario asking me if I've been on the Superman roller coaster here at Movie World in Queensland. Yes, I have a couple of times, Mario. Scared me out of my shoes. But, yeah, I'm not a big roller coaster person, but I had to go on it, and I've thoroughly enjoyed being on it, and it is still up. It's still there. So, yes. Rogue Energy drink is available to Superman Drink if you're interested in energy drinks. And there's also a Jupe Deck comic book display frames now available on Amazon if you like to display your comic books. They're two things that are up on our website if you want to check those out. I just wanted to bring a quick mention to those stories before we close up for Superman Homepage Live tonight. I want to thank our two co-hosts, Michael Bailey. Thank you, Michael.
Pleasure as always.
And Mark Lax. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And thank you to everyone who tuned in with us live tonight. We appreciate your company as always. Thank you very much for being part of the show. And a huge thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, Rick Schutzow, Jamie Klingensmith, Cara Lucker, and Tina Murray. And if you want to sponsor the Superman Homepage Live, please head to patreon.com/Superman Homepage. As I said, there are different levels of membership with different levels of perks. Now, the complete 1 hour show of video of tonight's show will remain available on our website, supermanhomepage.com, and on our YouTube channel if you'd like to watch it back or perhaps miss part of the show and want to check it all out again. But we'll be back next week on Monday, November 17th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time for another edition of Superman Homepage Live. We hope you'll join us then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Eunice on behalf of myself and Michael Bailey, Mark Lax. Thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com. Good night.